Hello, everyone, and welcome. It's almost springtime, and that means time to take care of your yard. And I have gotten really tired of my old hose and having to struggle with it every time I put it back in its hanger. So I decided to get myself a new hose and hose reel combination, everything included. So if you've been looking for a new hose and reel and didn't know which one to get, well, now we're going to look at one in this video, and you can decide if this guy is for you and what things you should look for in a hose reel. So let's get started. Alright guys, so when you unbox this puppy, this is everything you get. So let's talk a little bit about some of the features that this guy has, but before we get started testing this guy, do me a big favor and hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. That way you get notified every time I do another product review video, DIY project, or a sale at a big box store where I can help you save more money. Alright, so this is a retractable garden hose and reel from Relhost, available on Amazon, link in description below. At the time of making this video, this kit retails for $109.99. But they also have a $15 discount coupon on the Amazon page, making it even cheaper than that. The dimensions on this guy are 18 inches by 16 inches by 8 inches in width. The weight on this guy is 15 pounds. And what do you get when you unbox this guy? Well, you get the hose reel with the hose already attached. You get a sprayer, you get the manual, and you get all the mounting hardware. This unit comes in either white or gray, and this reel comes in a 65-foot, 100-foot, or 120-foot length, and they are all 1/2 inch diameter hoses. I got the 65-foot reel, and the water hose connection on the back of this guy is about 70 inches in length, so it gives you quite a lot of distance that you can be from your water connection. This unit extends out and locks in any position that you want. It also retracts easily from any position. I should mention also that it is advisable to hold on to the hose when retracting it so you don't cause any damage to anything or anyone around it. The ball stop is also easily adjustable without any tools needed. It simply snaps open and then snaps closed again in whatever position you want. This reel rotates 180 degrees on its swivel mount, making it easy to use in any direction without struggling. The case on this guy is made from ABS plastic, and the hose itself is made from PVC and a reinforced fiber combination. The included sprayer has 10 adjustable patterns, including angle, center, shower, full, stream, jet, mist, cone, vertical, and flat. Alright so now we know everything about this light. Let's go outside and hook this guy up and get it installed and see how it performs. Alright guys, so here we are outdoors, and let's start off by taking off the old wall hanger. And you can see it's an old-fashioned hanger. You gotta struggle with it every time you put the hose away, try to get it in there in the right way. And you can see the hose looks pretty old and tired. You can see it's discolored, it has a lot of cracks and breaks in it, and it's been giving me trouble for quite a while. Basically, it keeps leaking and stuff, and I have to keep patching it or cutting off sections. Not worth it to keep going with this old hose. So that's why I decided to may as well get a new hose, and I decided to get a reel as I'm at it at the same time, instead of having to mess around with struggling with the hose, trying to get it back on that old hanger every time. Because when it's nice and warm weather, it goes on quite easily. But when it's cold weather in the winter, you really got to fight with it to get it back on there, because some of these hoses get really, really hard, and they don't want to maneuver. They don't want to go back the way they're supposed to go. So what I'm doing here then basically is I'm trying to get the old wall plugs out of there, and they've been in there for such a long time that they just don't want to come out. So I can't just leave them in there like that. I have to break off the front of it and kind of keep them back into the wall, do something. That's why I'm kind of messing around with them here, because I have to get rid of them to some degree, because I plan on using one of the holes again. I don't want to have to start drilling someplace else and put this hose somewhere else. This is a convenient spot for me to have it. So I'm going to use the template, or I'm going to use the hanger itself, and I'll figure out which one of the two holes works out best for me, and I'll use that. And then the other one, I will simply cover it up, put some caulking or something on it and cover it up, because I don't have any stucco patch or any paint for this wall at this time. So the best thing to do is basically just break all this stuff off and punch it back inside the wall, something like that. It is hollow back there anyway. So that way I can just have a nice opening there, so I can finish up to the front of the wall and make it look more pleasant to look at, more attractive to look at. So that's why you see I'm struggling with the two. And like I said, this thing comes with a template, so you can decide what's best for you. If you want to use a template, go ahead and do that. There you see the template. It comes with the instructions, and you can use the template and try to figure out about where you want to hang it, I'm going to cheat a little bit, like I said, because I am going to use one of these holes. So putting the hanger where I want it, that way I can get a more visual indication of what would be better for me, the top hole or the bottom hole. And I could hang it down lower if I wanted to, but it would probably hit the spigot on the other side over there if I try to turn it, because remember, it does rotate 180 degrees. So that's not a convenient thing to do, to put it too far down. And the instructions say to put it at about 36 inches above the ground or something, so that way you can maintain proper water pressure. So like I said, this spot works just fine for me. You may have to decide what works for you. As you saw right there, I decided that I'm going to use the bottom hole to mount it, and then the top one, I'm just going to fill it up on the front there with some caulking to keep any moisture, bugs, anything from getting inside the wall, and that way that'll take care of it until I can come back at another time, fix it with some stucco patch and paint it over or something like that. I mean, it is going to be behind the hanger, so it really is not going to be very exposed to the elements or everything. The hanger is going to be covering it up. And there you see that I put the new wall plug inside the wall, and I'm just using this for reference right now so I can line it up, and that way I can mark it where I want to put the other holes. Makes it more convenient for me instead of using a paper template. This thing is more rigid, more rugged, and that way it'll hold up better to me marking the holes through it. Like I said, if you are more comfortable with the template, then go right ahead and use that. They include it for free. May as well use it if it works for you. And one thing also that I will point out from my experience, in the instructions it says to use a 1 3/8 drill, which is what I'm using right here. Actually, I found it to be a little bit too big for my situation because my stucco was a little bit crumbly and it broke apart a little bit too much, making the hole too big. So I would suggest using a little smaller drill, and then that way you could always make it a little bit bigger if you have to. Like right there on that side, I caught a stud, so it's very convenient. I don't need to worry about the wall plugs on that side. But the ones on the side facing the camera, these two guys on this side are hollow. So on those two, I have to use the wall plug. And like I said, at first it seemed okay, but once I put the wall plugs in and I tried to tighten them up, they just started spinning inside the wall. So that's not very convenient right there. Because the lag bolts that come with it are pretty hefty, they're pretty beefy. And then what happens is, it's kind of hard to get them to grab inside those wall plugs. They make it want to spin because they're really tight in there. So you want to have the wall opening be even tighter so it'll hold the wall plugs in place. As you see, what I finally had to do there is I had to put some tape around it to make it grab better, and that way then I have to hammer it in so it'll stay in place better. So there's always a solution. If you make the hole too big, all you got to do is put some tape around the wall plug and then just hammer it in place and you'll be good to go. And that's what I finally had to do in my situation there. As you see now, I can tighten it up with no trouble at all. And I'm going to have to do the same to the top one. This is just the point where I started realizing it's just a little too loose, and the minute you try to tighten it up, it doesn't work. So there you go, I had to do it on the top one as well. On the other two, like I said, I caught a stud, so I really don't have to bother with it on the other side. So right here then, I'm going to tighten it all up right now, and then we're going to see about hanging the hose reel on there. But as you see right there, then you can do this by hand. If you don't have any tools to do it with, you can do it by hand using sockets and power tools and stuff like this. It's very convenient. But it does have a Phillips screwdriver opening on it. So if all you have is a Phillips screwdriver, you can do it just fine that way as well. But using an impact driver and stuff like that sure makes quick work out of it all. As you see right there, on the other side, I caught a stud. So all I have to do is just put them in there, and I have to drop everything, of course, because you have to be clumsy. So there you go. Just attach it on the other side, tighten it up, and we'll be good to go in just a matter of a few seconds. And I keep dropping stuff because I'm a clumsy little fellow. So there you go. Just tighten it up. I don't want to go too far, but I'm just making sure it's nice and stiff there. I'm probably putting more pressure on it than what the hose weighs. I mean, it only weighs 15 pounds. It's not very heavy at all. But I'm putting a heck of a lot of force on there, so it won't come off on me in the future. And there you go, putting some downward force on it, and that will prove that it should stay there without any trouble at all. So then all you do is hang it there. And this guy's very convenient. If you live in an area where you're worrying about hoses freezing and stuff like that, it has a convenient handle on the back, and it just slides in and out of there. So you can take it off and take it inside, put it in your storage shed or something like that. If you worry about it freezing during the winter, it's very easy. You see right there, you just take it off, Put it back on, no problem whatsoever. It slides in and out very, very easily. Has a nice metal pin, so it makes it very easy to do. And it slides from side to side without any complication. And then when you're going to connect it to the spigot, then make sure that the washer is inside the hose there, that it didn't fall off when you were moving it around and stuff like that. Make sure it's still in there. And the instructions say to use a wrench to tighten it up. I don't think that's really necessary. I mean, if you're a strong enough person, you can see that, like, I'm just tightening it up with my own hands, and it should not leak. It will not leak. But if you tighten it up with your hands, you're strong enough. You should not have any trouble. If you happen to need a wrench, then go right ahead and use it, because you don't want to have a leak. So right there for me, it wasn't any trouble at all. And then you put on the sprayer on the other side, tighten it up nice and tight, and turn it on. Make sure you don't have any leaks, and you should be good to go. And right now I'm going to show you basically what it looks like turning on the water. And let me pull it down so it's a little bit more maneuverable for me. And that way I can show you how this guy works. And first of all, you got to get all the air out of it. And the sprayer is not bad. It has 10 different settings to it, so you can pick the one that you like the best. And you see right there with your thumb, you can just adjust it on and off. Very convenient. One finger on and off. Very easy to use, this guy. All right, guys, there you have it. That's what that guy looks like when it is fully mounted. Nice, elegant reel. There you go, from Relhost. Very nice, elegant little device. This is the white one. Like I say, it comes in gray if it works out better for you. And there you go. You got plenty of hose, so if your spigot is far away from it, you have no trouble reaching out to wherever the spigot is. And if you want to just pull it out and go somewhere in your backyard, as you see right there, I have no trouble pulling it out and going anywhere I need to go. And if you want to water the grass and stuff like that, you can just do that very conveniently. But there you go. Let me clean up the mess that I made right there and just hose everything off. You see it does a decent job, nice pressure and so forth. So it does a very nice job. You can select the spray pattern that you like the best. And again, if you want to water your plants and so forth, all you do is pull on the hose and it goes out with you. And the minute you let go, it'll lock itself very conveniently. You don't need to struggle with it. And there you see right there, with the one finger, you can turn this guy on and off very easily. Not that hard at all. One finger maneuverability, very convenient indeed. And I'm going to pull it out some more so you can see how easy this guy is. No struggle. It's not really hard at all. You pull it out very, very easily. And basically wherever you need to go, just keep on walking and it'll go with you anywhere you need to go. And one thing that I'll point out also, one of the things that I found as I was doing this is that don't jerk it when you want it to go back in. If you jerk it hard, it'll think that you're pulling it out. So if you jerk it out hard, it'll lock in place. But if you do it gently, like I'll show you right now, if you jerk it hard like this, you see I'm jerking it, it locks in place because it thinks you're pulling it to keep on going. But if you do it gently, like pull it like maybe an inch very softly, you'll see right now, very softly, it just goes back in without any trouble whatsoever. So do it gently and it'll go back without any trouble at all. So there you have it, guys. That is a reel and hose from Relhost. Really nice little guy that does the job for me. I found it to be a very convenient little device, easy to install without having to go through a lot of complication. Hope you enjoyed the video. Be sure to hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye-bye for now.